here, and we can
I'm
just
just
allow
gonna
everybody else to pop in.
take myself off audio.
Camera. It's totally fine. Thanks. Thanks for hopping in there. It's awesome to see you guys tonight. So, I know my Zoom is working strange, and I can't even blame Mercury retrograde because that's already sort of slowed down. But this full moon energy is definitely doing some stuff. I didn't even have my phone wasn't working this afternoon either. My husband and I were having to call each other and actually physically talk because we couldn't text each other as they were going through today. It was so weird. Something is in the air. Oh, but it is a beautiful full moon coming up, this beautiful energy. So I love spending Friday nights just kind of talking about the support that we get cosmically. I don't like to just be all telling everybody that, yeah, you should be doing this or you shouldn't be doing this because of this time or that time. But I do find that this energy that we have going through really, it's very pronounced, and it's very conducive to allowing things to shift in really amazing ways. And when we kind of know what's going on, we don't really feel like we're as crazy. We kind of can understand a little bit more where we have supports cosmically, where we have supports to be able to, have that little rest day or have that sort of push it more a little bit. And everyone is kind of feeling these same things. So it's like it's on a collective sense. It's not just one person or the other. We're all sort of going through this together. So it's really neat to see the synchronicities and the patterns and realize that there's all of these things kind of happening at the same time for sort of the same reason. So good evening, guys. Welcome, Samara. Welcome, Heather. It's awesome to see you guys tonight. So I'm just diving on in to our exciting season that we have right now. This full moon, it's in Aries, so it's this beautiful, fiery sort of a feel. It's all about emotions, it's all about relationships, and it's kind of neat right now because there's lots of stuff happening with relationships, with things in our life that it's kind of like that point where we sort of need to see the truth. There's this like there's this these sort of patterns that have been happening, these these sort of retrograde type things have been coming back up from our past. Relationships are coming back up from the past, and a few weeks ago it was kind of like these things were sort of coming up to show us certain things. But at this point, what's happening now with, say we're not having relationships that are really how we want them to be, or things haven't been going great with certain relationships, or things haven't been going great with certain jobs, or this is kind of the moment of truth where the truth is really shown to us in a new way, where we're able to move past and through a lot of the really old stuff that will keep us stuck in patterns of relationships now. And it's kind of like the veil is coming off, and we're able to have, it's like enough is enough. The relationship is like, okay, this is time, it's time to heal. The time's a wasting. Let's, call a spade, whatever, bury the hatchet, reach out the olive branch, whatever the term is. It's kind of like, this is the point where if things have really not been going a certain way and you really have wanted them to, this is the time to sort of shift it. Now, it's a really neat time for people if they're selling a house or if they're buying a house. This is when it happens. So, manifestations galore. Samara will be throwing you some good luck, some full moon energy on this, because it is a great time to sell a house. So Sunday, like if you have some showings or anything this weekend, they should go really
It's
well.
it's a deal. I'm done. We're closing on the 21st, man. He
Yeah.
signed off on everything, cash.
Are you
I didn't.
serious?
I'm serious. It happened so fast. It's all done. I mean, never done till you close, but yeah, I'm sure it's done.
Ah, that is beautiful. I could cry. I love it. Yeah,
Yes.
this is the time for shifts. And for careers, you know, people are like, I am done getting up and doing this job that I have been, it's not feeding my soul. I just, enough is enough. It's like this shift is really about to happen right now. This is the sort of moment of truth per se. And it's a big time because it's one of the last sort of eclipse, well, it is the last eclipse season that we're going to have. It's coming up starting around the 24th, and for about 6 weeks we have this kind of window of opportunity and change. And right now it's like the things that are coming up for us are these things that we've known we have to shift, that we know we're sort of ready to shift. We have this sort of purging energy, this, if we've been collecting stuff that is just no longer serving us, this is the time to be able to cosmically be supported and feel like we want to just get rid of it already, that we just want to do it already. We've been talking a lot about masculine and feminine energies and how, you know, we tend to really just try and push things and force it. And I've got to do this. And I, you know, da 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 da. We have this real drive behind us. September was kind of more of that feminine energy month where we bring in a little bit of that feminine action, that I've done this work, now I need to actually surrender and allow. Now, if we didn't that sort of allow that surrender and allowance to happen, the truth is now coming forth so that we can actually shift the things that we truly do want to shift. And it's been a really neat week just working with clients and working with the collective energy out there, and just seeing the amount of people that are ready for big things. And they've had some really cool aha moments in the last couple of weeks, especially this last week. Like, things are coming up. Even I had one lady say, I could see myself in my grandmother's house. Like, she kind of blocked out most of her childhood, and she could see herself. Like, we did this meditation and she came out and she was like, I was in my grandmother's house. I could see the buffet and I could see the kitchen and I could see her doing the dishes and making soup, and like she could see everything so clearly. Like, it was like almost like being there. And some dreams that people have had, they've been having these dreams, but they're different, like dreams of recurring people that maybe were in their past that they know, you know, that they would normally have been, say, really shy around, or really introverted. They're now in their dreams, they're just like cool cats, like these guys. Like, they're that person that they want to be in their dreams. Like, it's starting to really kind of manifest in their dreams as well as in their sort of 5D vision. So it's been beautiful to see these enlightening moments that people are having. You know, when we kind of ask the questions, the answers have been coming. And when we're open to accepting those answers, wow, like, it's been some pretty profound little shifts going on. And I've been feeling really just so blessed to be able to share those experiences. Like, I love the one-on-ones that I've been able to do this week. They're just like, it's profound when we're really kind of getting into how many unique things. I love hearing back from people. I love the teaching part, but I love hearing back from people too, just what's going on. It teaches me so much. And so some of the things that I felt would be helpful for tonight would be to talk a little bit about the truth, that we are ready to see the truth, that there's a lot of painful stuff that a lot of us have kind of packed down. And there's a lot of scars that for some, they feel too big to be able to heal properly. And I feel like these scars we're able to shift things energetically around some of these scars. And we're going to have a really beautiful meditation tonight where we just kind of go and sort of light our inner fire again. And we allow some of these veils that we have put over ourselves to keep ourselves safe. Some of these veils, I feel like we're wearing like a Harry Potter invisibility cloak. You know, we had these veils on so that no one could really see the true us. And what has been really profound this week is listening to people, and it's like their most embarrassing moment, the thing that they never wanted to talk about, the thing that they never felt comfortable perhaps saying on a webinar, saying on a, like, there's a lot of, you see a lot of coaches, they're like, yeah, I was a heroin addict and I was in the streets, and like they literally take their most embarrassing moment, and guilt and shame ridden moment, their biggest emotional scar, and they turn it into this, they energy weave it into this ability to help other people go through it, right? So this time is for people that are coaches and teachers. This time is really amazing to be able to look at these things that you have maybe never wanted to say to anybody, or never, or had been buried so long that they're just finally kind of coming up this week in your face a little bit, to notice some of those gifts that you have, because these wounds, these traumas that we went through, not that some of these would ever be a blessing or a gift, but they had meaning to our soul's journey. And we went through it for a reason. And it's not all for nothing. And it's oftentimes, especially as light workers and empaths and people that tend to help, which is usually all my people in my group. So I'll talk to you all right now in that these things, these traumas that we've been through are likely what is going to be an absolute light for someone else, and perhaps even be one of your lessons to be able to carry through. If it's not to teach our children, it's to teach someone that doesn't have to suffer for the amount of years that we did by holding on to the same kind of things. These little lessons are coming up right now, and if there's things that, you know, all of a sudden were suppressed that are coming out, if there's things that we're just finally ready to deal with, or finally ready to maybe even tell someone or talk about, it's this time to be able to almost take off this veil and allow that true self, be honest with ourselves, be true to ourselves. And if we're not teachers and that's not our journey, this is the time to really look at ourselves and what it is that we really need that we're not doing. This is the fire energy of truth is what we're in right now with the full moon and everything. The fire energy of truth, there's like 4 degrees of truth and they go with all the elements. So the fire truth is what we should be doing, but we're not, you know, what that little thing is that we're supposed to be doing that we're not. Like even today, I got my new, you guys know I'm with doTERRA for oils, and I got my new, they have this like metabolic booster, collagen, this amazing stuff. And I got it today and I was like, yeah, I'm going to start. And I remember, you know, in teaching saying, you know, when we tell ourselves, yeah, I'm going to start, I'm going to do something, we get excited about it, we feel it, we know it's right for us, and then we don't do it. It's literally telling our brain that we're not doing it, and we're actually creating that neural pathway to say that we can't do it, and then that's going to create more of that, and then we're going to not do it some more. So right away I wound up going and I opened it up and I put it in my water and I drank the whole thing, and it felt so good and it tasted so good and it just felt so good for myself. Then it sort of propelled me to do other stuff, and then I was like, I'm kind of hungry, and I had just gone grocery shopping, and I try to keep chips out of the house. I always talk about chips. I have this like thing with chips. So we're going to be having people over this weekend. So I got chips and I'm like, nope, I'm not going to touch the chips. And I didn't. And I had made some cabbage soup. So I had some cabbage soup and I nourished myself properly. And I'm like, this feels so good, right? And that's not only just feeling good and doing it, it's actually making that neural pathway to want to do more of that again tomorrow, right? And so it'll be it's every day right now making this choice to continue to do that. But when I've done it, it's a heck of a lot more easy to do than if I hadn't done it in the first place, because we'll always start tomorrow. We'll always start tomorrow. How about start right now? That's what this fire energy is about. It's let's do this right now. Let's not wait. Let's just, what do we need? And let's do it. Pay attention to your body. Give it what it needs. It may well be that it needs rest. It may well be that it needs a week off. And we've had some time to kind of, I was saying, you know, during Mercury retrograde, it wasn't the best time to sort of set something off. And I had this course, Verena and I've designed this sort of emotional mastery energy tool kind of course, where it's a 6 week thing where we're really kind of dialing into getting people to embrace their intuitive power and be able to know those frequencies they're in, and like really, but I kept getting this weight, it's not time, it's not time. And we're releasing it right at the beginning of November, and we're doing this little 3-day event in next weekend, I think, hey Verena. And it's all about really sort of tuning into your frequency, making those shifts, finding your soul's purpose, knowing exactly where you're at. And it's all on the exact perfect time. It's going to be right in the middle of that eclipse. It's going to be right sort of leading up to that energy. It was like, I didn't know why it was that timing, but it's worked out so perfectly cosmically with everything that's going on. Like, it's just like, we couldn't have timed it better if we had sat down and studied charts for a year and figured out the exact right day. Like, it's absolutely beautiful in the shifts for finding the truth, right? Yes, absolutely. And at that point, we're going to be in the earth and the air truth, which is collecting the data and actually having the result, literally being able to see it, the actual truth. And so it's going to be just so profound in timing. And last week, basically, we were sort of in the water element of truth, and that's more the emotions, the feelings. And so everybody was like really feeling the feels. The emotions were like waves that were sort of coming over. And this, even sort of this eclipse type season, can be a little bit emotional. And so the reason for that, though, is that these emotions are coming up to allow us to release them, because they are, those are some of those things that aren't necessarily serving us in the best way. The emotions we need, but are they actually emotions that we have just been suppressing for a long time, that are just kind of ready to actually be seen and felt? Because think of how often we just kind of shove down our feelings so that we don't have to feel them. This is a really great time to allow us to be able to sort of feel those feelings. And so when we look at these sort of 4 areas of truth, this is really what makes up our reality. And our reality is based on where the most gravitational pull is. So I always try and encourage people to do a little bit of a ceremony around a full moon, do a little bit of a ritual where you allow yourself to do a little bit of writing. I love having fires, and even if it's a candle, and, burning the little list that I make of the things that I'm ready to let go of. And there may just be things that we're ready to let go of, even just like, some of the guilt and the shame and the anger. And we don't need to know exactly what it's all about. It's making that choice to actually let that go. When we let these things go, what we're doing is making space in our bodies, in our souls, in our spirits, for the things that we really are trying to manifest to come forward, even if it's just living with ease. It doesn't have to be about finances or money. When we're trying to achieve something, it's much easier to achieve when we can make space, even energetically, when we're sort of healing some of these wounds, when we're allowing some of this to move through, when we simply acknowledge or look at or write down or burn, whatever it might be, some of these emotions, some of these things that we are really ready to let go of. If you found yourself saying in the last week or so, like, I don't know why I'm still like this. Like, I just, this is what we're ready to let go of. This is like, why do I just have to be, it just doesn't make sense that I'm just fighting that. Or it just doesn't make sense that I'm still not taking care of myself. How am I, like, this week with my kids getting busier, I always, if you guys are in my group, I joke that I've had making a meal plan in my lenses for like a year and a half, 2 years, and I still haven't had a meal plan. Well, it's come to fruition now. And this feminine energy. When masculine, I'm writing down the list. I'm like, got to get a meal plan. And I'm thinking, like, do I have to pay someone? How do I get a meal plan? What if they're going to make meals that my kids aren't getting? And there's all these things that are stopping me from getting this meal plan going. Yet I was just, literally in our schedule and making a second dinner at 9 o'clock at night, because it was like, I didn't have things prepared beforehand. And I just kind of went, I just need to have meals planned, a day ahead. And it was just a shift in it. Just like I allowed that feminine energy, that listen to that voice. Like I just need to literally do this. So I went like family friendly recipes, found a casserole, made it tonight. We've now got for tomorrow. Like it was as easy as that. It was like it was a real doing day today. I got lots of doing done in the most feminine way because I felt like it, not because I felt that I had to, but I actually just felt like it. Like I really felt like I had the time, I had the okay, I was able to just make this happen, and it all just kind of aligned. But that's that feminine action rather than that forcing it. And we're always kind of trying to force things in a certain way at a certain time. The bus is going to get there when it's going to get there. It needs to take that journey to be able to get there when it gets there. If we were to get there too soon, we might, end up completely being in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's just literally all about divine timing and knowing that that is the way that it is going to work out, having that faith and having that trust in that. And so I'm feeling like I just feel like doing this meditation with you guys. I've just been really feeling the energy. We are a couple days away from the full moon, so I'll have this recording put out there. You can absolutely do it again on Sunday night and kind of enjoy the full moon energy. But it's literally about a week before and a week after that the full moon is really, that energy is really intense. So that's why I was sort of called to do that this evening, so that we were kind of prepared and ready for it and just allow that moon to do its magic. And I love doing things like get out your cinnamon oil. Pardon me, my body's releasing already. Cinnamon oil or cinnamon itself, sprinkle it around the doorways. Use it in your cooking, use it in your diffuser, even put a little pot on the stove with some cinnamon and some apples and just cook it just for the smell. It brings prosperity, it brings abundance into life in all ways, shapes, and forms. So it's just a beautiful way to kind of welcome that energy into your homes and into your lives. And I do encourage, especially on a full moon, full moons are a lot about what we're ready to let go of. New moons, I find it's like manifestations, and equinoxes and stuff, are all about kind of like what we really want to bring. This is kind of like a shedding, a shedding opportunity, a way to really let go of the skins that we've been wearing, the sheets that we've been wearing, those ones that covered up our truth by us figuring out how we were going to belong and how we were going to get along in our families, how we were going to get along in life, whether we were going to just make life easy for everybody, or whether we were going to take our place in the world and take a stand for things. This kind of allows us to be able to get back to who it is that we really are. And I always like pulling, not always, but sometimes I like pulling cards. And tonight I was called to the Ascended Masters, and St. Francis was the card that jumped out. And it's all about following your heart, and it's about literally allowing that manifestation to happen. That we have to know that the universe will literally supply anything it is that we have been asking for, whether that's answers, whether that's help, whether it's in relationships or life. But some of the meanings for this card is already knowing what to do, trust your intuition and take action accordingly. Your feelings are accurate and valid. You're guided to make important and happy life changes. You're receiving true divine guidance through your feelings and intuition to really understand that we are intuitive beings, and that we really do have this tap in to this divine source. And if we really, really just allow ourselves to play and have fun and be in that vibration of appreciation and gratitude as much as we can, there's almost nothing that can stop us. There really isn't. It's having that faith in that and really allowing that energy to be moving, because it's when we try and force things that generally it gets kind of sticky. That tends to be, it's either we're chasing something or we're trying to avoid something, one or the other. But that's often what will bring our emotions in and kind of let them get a little bit sticky. So if you're feeling a little bit sticky, if you're feeling like you just need a little bit of help and faith, and maybe you're going to make a phone call to a family member that you haven't talked to for a while, or maybe you're ready to just reach out to someone, you can almost ask St. Francis for help. Um, ask and sort of pray to St. Francis in a way, whether it has to do with animals or relationships. There, he's kind of the saint of environment. So it's a beautiful energy to bring in when you need that extra little bit of support and strength and ease and grace when you're going in to deal with any kind of situation that you might feel is a little bit sticky. It's that beautiful nature energy. So you can always think of that in the back of your head. So with that, I am going to suggest that you guys just get into a meditative position, whatever that is comfortable for you, whether you want to lay down or whether you want to sit. This fire energy is about moving as well. So, and all about action. I mean, we can really want something, but this is that whole truth that I was talking about. Are we taking the action? What are we doing? Are we doing it? Are we actually taking that action? Are we taking that whatever it is that we decided to do? Are we really moving towards what it is that we really want to be moving towards? Even if it's just a little bit every day, one small action is going to be so much more profound than taking an action or a step backwards. Really rewiring those neural pathways is just so huge. So I invite you to just take some nice deep breaths, and we're just going to connect with our breath tonight. We aren't going to force it. We aren't going to be pushing in or out. I just want you to connect with your breath and just notice how it feels. Does it feel heavy? Does it feel like it's hard to get a nice deep breath in? Does it feel like it's actually expanding through your cells? And I want you to, if you can, take a breath in through your nose and hold it for just a few seconds at the top of the breath. And then when you release, just crack your lips like you're blowing out a straw, but don't even blow hard. Just allow that breath to escape, just relaxing slowly and connecting with your belly. I want you to focus your attention on your solar plexus, which is that area that is right below your rib cage and right above your belly button in that upper belly. And when you take your breath in, that area should be growing bigger and bigger. That whole area should almost be inflating like a big beach ball when you breathe in. And when you breathe out, that beach ball is deflating and that whole area is relaxing. And I want you to imagine your whole body relaxing with every single breath out. And again, breathing in and just holding it at the top of that breath for just a few seconds. And as you breathe out, I want you to elongate your neck and relax your shoulders, and just imagine right now that you are sitting outside and it's evening time. Imagine that you're sitting out by a campfire. You may be by water. This campfire may be on the beach. You may be in your backyard. This campfire might be in a little fire pit. It doesn't matter what kind of fire it is. I just want you to picture a small little bonfire, or for some of you, you can have that big one if you want to. And I want you to just imagine hearing and smelling what that fire would smell like. And I want you to just hear the crackling of the fire, the popping every once in a while, that sound. And I want you to notice what the campfire would smell like. And what the campfire would feel like, as if it would feel a little bit warm. And I want you to imagine that you're just sitting there enjoying that fire and you're just watching it. Watching the fire dance. And connecting with your breath again, I want you to glance up towards the sky and just notice all the beautiful stars in the sky. And notice that they're all so brightly lit up that it's just like a million little lights in the sky. And I want you to imagine the light from the stars and the light from the full moon and the light from the asteroid called Chiron, that asteroid that shows us all the vulnerabilities, that brings forth all those childlike wounds, those emotions, those things that have been buried for so long. The light is shining, it's in conjunct with the moon so that the light is bouncing back and forth like a magnetic energy. And as that light bounces back and forth between the asteroids and the stars and the moon, I want you to feel the draw towards your body, almost like a magnet with that light. And I want you to imagine that your body is actually starting to suck some of the light from the cosmos. Imagine that the sky is opening up in the brightest lights possible as your body starts to draw in this beautiful light energy, almost like you're starting to turn on a vacuum in your body. And as you do, this illuminates the sky even brighter. It illuminates the collective energy even brighter because this light is starting to filter through your body, which is this emanating source, this battery to just supercharge the light. And I want you to notice this light being pulled in towards the top of your head, like it's just starting to bathe your whole head, your skin, your scalp, your hair. This beautiful star energy, this beautiful moon and asteroid energy is just starting to filter down into the top of your head. And I want you to imagine it coming down in through your body, down through your third eye, so brightly that your third eye is starting to illuminate like a bright spotlight going straight out of your forehead, right between your eyes. And I want you to imagine this light starting to shine through every cell of your skull, every cell of your head, until it's almost like the cells are dispersing into these little particles. It's just lighting you up. It's just dissipating your frequency. It's just moving through and allowing all of the healing, the cleaning, the clearing to start moving through your whole body. And it's just lit up your whole head. Allow it to move down your neck, down through your jaw and your sinuses, down through the ears and the throat, and allowing your thyroid and all your glands to just get coated in this beautiful starlight, this beautiful healing cosmos, universal moonlight energy. Allowing truth to come out of every cell, allowing trauma to be shifted from every cell. And I want you to notice that on the bottoms of your feet, you almost have this opposite magnet that's pushing down into the earth as the light starts to plunge through your whole body. This light is just being drawn in, going down your shoulders and your chest, wrapping around your heart and every little rib, wrapping around your lungs and your arms, your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, your every little finger just filling up with light and starting to transpose into these beautiful particles. Allowing this light to move down through your rib cage, your chest, your lungs, your solar plexus, your whole belly. Cleaning and clearing around the liver, the pancreas, the stomach. Moving down and around your belly button and into that low back area. Allow that light to just keep soaking in and moving through and dispersing all these light cells into these beautiful particles. Imagine them just cleaning and clearing, transmuting and transposing as they need to, balancing out, swirling around. moving as all the energy is just starting to get unlocked in your body and just starting to just spiral through as this light energy is just plunging down into your lower back, into your lower abdomen, into your pelvis, and allowing this light to move all the way down your legs, all the way down through your knees and your calves, your feet, and noticing this other magnet that's just drawing anything heavy, anything that needs to be cleaned and cleared and transmuted down into Mother Earth, into that beautiful crystalline energy. And allowing this beautiful exchange as you feel these roots grow from outside of your feet, from perhaps outside of your pelvis or your hands, even these roots that are grounding you deep down into Mother Earth, healing and cleaning and clearing in every way, shape, and form. And as you start to feel lighter and lighter, I want you to imagine some of the things that you know you were meant for. Some of those things that just light you up when you do. It may just be drawing, it may just be painting, it may just be talking, it may be being someone's light. It may be dancing, it may be music, it may be helping them to heal. It may be spending time with our family. It may be helping heal the world on a collective. And as you imagine some of these beautiful truths about yourself, I want you to examine something that you know to be true about yourself, that you are a good person, that you are a kind person, that you are here for a greater purpose, that you are capable of anything that you put your mind to, that you're capable of healing, that your body is able to actually heal on a cellular basis. And I want you to feel this beautiful moving energy go through your body and ask it to heal anything that needs healing right now. Ask it to move the trauma through the body. Ask it to move the energy through the body. And as you start to feel this energy moving through your body, I want you to notice the intensity that's coming from the moon, from Chiron, from the sun, from these beautiful energies that are all just floating around above us, and feeling this exciting energy of this eclipse coming up and knowing monuments were made around these eclipses. There are so many ancient things in this world that were based on these eclipses. It is no coincidence that we're going through these shifts right now. Allowing some of these moments where we were never allowed to be vulnerable, where we always had to be perfect, where we put on these veils so no one would see what we were afraid to show them. And this magnetism that's coming from the moon, it's starting to pull up. It's almost starting to literally start to pull that energy up from the top of your head. And I want you to imagine that this sheet is being lifted off of you right now. Like this big, heavy sheet that you've been wearing, that one that would keep you safe, that one that would keep you from being judged, from being vulnerable, from being hurt, from being left or abandoned. That sheet that you felt that if you wore, you could just belong. Perhaps no one would even see you. And I want you to realize that this sheet is being lifted, and there's a person underneath that's giving a sigh of relief, that is ready to not carry this heaviness around, to not carry this sheet, to not carry this weighted blanket that's just felt so heavy. And I want you to choose to allow this beautiful moon energy to simply lift it off and carry it away and weave it back into the beautiful tapestry, keeping all of the memories, keeping all of the good and beautiful intentions and protective endeavors from it. And allow the moon and the sun and Chiron and St. Francis to give you a gift. And just imagine opening up your hands and receiving whatever it may be. It may be a symbol, it may be a rock or a shell or a hug, it may be a teaching, but imagine maybe even some element. Just imagine. I see feathers, I see all sorts of beautiful things. Imagine receiving a gift for allowing this light to be able to come through and move through, and receive a healing breath, a receiving breath in thanks for this beautiful gift. And I want you to take your focus back to the fire, and now that you're this translucent, beautiful, iridescent disbursement of particles, you can take your particle arms and you can wrap it around this bonfire and take this fire energy, this burning energy that's inside of this fire, this motivation, this spark, and I want you to scoop it up with a positive memory from your past that you can bring forward. A time where you felt loved, a time where you felt like you belonged, a time where you were at one, maybe with someone who's not here anymore. And I feel there's a little bit of sadness. I'm just going to hold the heart center. Just grieving some of those people that we've lost, some of those relationships that we've lost, and perhaps when we lost a part of ourselves in losing that relationship, you may even feel it, that moment where you felt like you changed a little bit, like something happened, like you froze, like you literally changed. A part of you came out that day or in that time. Perhaps it's been for 15 years. Perhaps it's been more, but whatever trauma that was with a person that's here or gone, we're going to allow that to heal in the heart right now and to be let go, to create more space, to truly allow this love for our true selves to come through. Noticing any of those feelings that come up. Allowing yourself to recognize that you did go through this, that you have survived this, and you may have even become a different person because of this. But your true soul's journey and your true life's path has never changed. It's always been the same. And with allowing that veil to come off, these particles can reach out and become a part of that cosmos and become a part of that collective healing. And I want you to scoop up that fire, and I want you to hug it into yourself. I want you to bring it into your heart center. I want you to bring it in to your solar plexus. I want you to bring that fire into every single energy center, starting at the root. We're going to bring it right down to your pelvis, right down to your pelvic floor, relaxing those muscles in that area, relaxing the glutes that you're sitting on. And I want you to literally, with your particle hands, put that fire back into that familial, that beautiful generational root chakra, where you can extract the beautiful things from your roots, perhaps your culture, perhaps those sacred healings that could come with your beautiful ancient teachings of your family, and embracing those familial stories that will just draw more strength and bring more generational healing, and allow that to come up in through your sacral plexus, where all of our reproductive organs and our fear and our anger and our shame and our guilt all like to just settle down in. And we're just going to bring that fire in to all of those things that we're tired of feeling and that we choose to no longer allow to have gravitational pull into our lives, and let that fire burn off anything in that energy center, healing every trauma, every wound, and allowing that fire to move up into your solar plexus, where all our boundaries are formed, where our strengths and our heck no's are formed, and our heck yeses are formed. And I want you to think of a couple of heck yeses, a couple of things you've wanted to do. Oh, that feels good. Whether it's just traveling again, maybe trying to put a class out there, maybe it's just getting out into dancing again. Allowing some of those yeses. Maybe you're going to start writing your journal so you can write your book one day. And bring that fire into your heart, where you have all of those beautiful heart-centered emotions. There's no one more heart-centered than you, and just allowing that softening of that heart wall as you fill that whole area with light. You can even bring that beautiful green light into that area to do a little healing if it feels tight, or if you're noticing any discomfort in any of these areas, this is the time to allow your breath to release that. Send your breath right to that area. Allow those little cells to really start dispersing, really start transmuting, turning all those scars into particles, to beautiful light particles swirling around, and bringing it up into the throat chakra, where you can finally feel safe to perhaps sing again, perhaps feel happy enough to talk to someone, perhaps feel strong enough to have conversations you wouldn't have been able to have a while ago. Noticing how far you've come, noticing the work that you've done, noticing that you can handle things a lot better than you did before. Noticing you can shift your vibration to be able to handle those things, and feeling like you are that true predominant creative force in your life as you allow that light to just start moving, that fire to move in through your third eye. And as your third eye starts to light up, I want you to imagine your third eye dispensing smoke like you have incense burning inside of your skull. Out of that third eye, I want you to imagine it opening up, and it's almost looking like an incense burner where smoke is just billowing out of your third eye. And allow it perhaps to project another gift for you from that full moon energy. Sometimes the smoke that's billowing out of your third eye likes to draw a picture. I keep seeing hearts, I keep seeing love, I keep seeing just this beautiful feeling. And allowing that light, that fire to come up to your crown, to allow some of that pressure to burn off, to really open your crown up like a beautiful 1,000-petal lotus that's just opening up to that cosmic, beautiful full moon energy. And as you're feeling at one with that beautiful divine light, you can ask yourself, and you can ask the universe, what action it is that you need to be able to take to fully develop this truth. What inaction has been stopping this beautiful fire energy, this beautiful degree of truth to be shown? And when you're ready, I want you to notice those roots that are growing out of your feet. And imagine that the fire has burned, the campfire is burned. And as it starts to go out, you can see seeds that were all around the fire pit start to burst open, to crack open. It just needed this fire, it needed this heat. And these little seeds are starting to grow roots. They're starting to grow roots down and into the ground all around the fire pit, just like the roots that are growing out of your feet. And you're noticing that you're just like the seed. Yet your seed was planted long ago, and so these roots are now quite profound. And just like you're shining light on some of these truths that need to come out, some of these truths that we need to let go of, ask yourself what it is that you're ready to just move on from. And notice those roots really planting down, growing down deep into the ground. And that fire had the alchemical source of what it needed to finally allow your tree to grow. And start noticing that your tree is just shooting up inches at a time. It may have taken a few years to get to this point, but this true full moon fire, this replacement of energy, this coming out of the fog, lifting the veil, becoming unfrozen from the traumas of the past, and allowing this beautiful eclipse energy that's coming forward in the next couple weeks to be that window where it all just comes together. Feeling excited, feeling like it's almost like Christmas morning. This is finally coming to fruition. You can finally believe it. You know the truth. Imagine the wind just blowing slightly, and imagine what that wind sounds like. Imagine even what the sounds of crackling roots growing into the ground and trees starting to grow. Imagine what that would smell like. Imagine these beautiful trees growing all around you. This beautiful lit up forest. And what's helping them grow is this moon's energy, noticing that that magnet between Chiron and the moon and the sun is like superfood for these trees and plants, and they're just growing up and up towards the cosmos, and it's all becoming one. And I'd love for you to just take a few more nice healing deep breaths, holding it on the breath in, just for a few seconds. Feeling free to ask any questions that need answering right now. What do I need to know about this? How do I just deal with this person? Allowing those answers to come in this theta state right now. And if they don't come at this very moment, they will when you're in a theta state of being happy and doing something that you love. Simply asking these questions is all you need to do to get the answers. And as St. Francis represents, knowing that those answers are inside of us, truly following our heart. Where is your heart wanting to lead you? Where does your heart know that you belong? Noticing any areas that are a little bit uncomfortable in your body. I can feel some back tension. So I'm just going to continue to do a little bit of energy work here as we just take a couple nice deep breaths and start coming back. as I welcome you back from your 5D journey into your 3D body that's still 5D. It's beautiful right now. I feel a bunch of releasing going on. And know that after a meditation, sometimes you'll have little shakes or twitches, or you might have had some tingles, or sometimes it feels like sand moving through pipes. It almost sounds like or feels like sometimes like ducts moving. Pressures changing inside the body. And just allowing your breath to go to any of those areas that are painful right now. And noticing where that pain is. This upper back, this middle back, is that lack of support, and just knowing that we're supported by the universe to really be on a journey of true healing and true ease and grace and happiness. And maybe even asking those areas of the body, what is it that you need? You know? Maybe it needs a foam roller when we've been overstretching. Maybe it needs heat when we've been icing. Maybe it needs, our bodies need a salt bath tonight. One of the things I love doing, and welcome back, is having an Epsom salts bath. I take a couple of cups of Epsom salts and about a quarter of a cup of baking soda, and I put that in my bath with some essential oil like frankincense or balance or one of the firs, like put some Siberian fir in there, or some black spruce. Black spruce is that vibration of like 500. Get a nice tree oil. Ooh, my sacral plexus did a little bloop bloop when I said that. Black spruce it is tonight. At different frequencies, those oils do really help untrap things from the body. So a bath with that, it would just be beautiful. Perhaps even just rubbing it on that area might feel really good if you have something like that at home. Drinking some water tonight, just allowing yourselves to replenish and flush. That pain feels like it's moving through the body. Just a little bit lower now. I've got some just in the upper low back, so I'm just gonna keep working there for whoever that is. The kidney area. We have some tired organs right now. They've been on overdrive. The adrenal system has kind of been a little fight or flighty, so I feel like those adrenal glands are almost just aching right now, so I'm just treating those. And I'd love to welcome you guys back into the room if anybody wanted to share anything at all, how that was for them, or even if you have any questions at all. I just want to keep zapping you guys for a couple more minutes, so feel free to hop on or hop off of mute and hop on and ask anything, or let me know how you're doing. I almost felt like with that veil lifting, it was like wearing a Halloween costume, wearing a sheet. And it was like pulling it off. It was like after if you've been under the covers and you've had you're trying to sleep and it's noisy and you bury yourself under the covers, but you kind of start running out of oxygen and you can't breathe. When I felt that magnetic sort of energy, almost, it was like pulling out of the top of my head, almost pulling it off. Pulling this veil, it was like, it was like being able to breathe after you take your face out of the covers. It was a really interesting feeling, and just bringing that fire energy in to light up our truths a little bit. And when I do say receive a gift, we don't always know what it is, but sometimes what will happen is we'll find an old necklace, or we'll see something even, or get given a gift from someone, or find a rock and just think, oh, I didn't even know I had that rock. That rock can actually be the gift that you need to be as your intuition tool. It felt like it was like with letting go of some of that stuff, the light that was able to come in are these intuitive gifts, and this little eclipse that's really about like the people that are kind of guided by intuition and want to know a little bit more about it. It's like this portal opening to be able to really tap into your gifts. It's quite an exciting time. My fingers are still tingling. We're just going to finish clearing these chakras here. There's a lot of stuff in those lower chakras. Still feels a little bit prickly. Some stuff to move through. And I'm just being called to this. It's interesting, the pain in the back, and I have a feeling that I know who this is for here. It's just feeling very tight around the rib cage. There's this beautiful frequency. I talk a lot about matrix energetic frequencies, and not to get too off topic, but something that's really fun is this frequency called frequency number 4, and this is for pain. And this is for discomfort and for healing, and right down to like broken legs, they've used it for. And what you do is you pretend that you're tuning into a radio station, and it's station number 4. And this frequency, it's very, very much like beautiful crystalline type coffee grounds that you could just mix with magical water, and it would just be like this iridescent-y, mud masky looking, this botanical mask kind of feel. And I pretend that I scoop it up with my fingers, and I pack it into areas, or I almost pretend like I have this dark brown black bandage that I wrap something up in. My daughter smashed her finger a couple weeks ago, and we've been playing with frequency number 4 every day. I'm dipping her fingers in it, and I'm scooping it up and putting it on there, and I'm wrapping black bandages, and she's just laughing because it's all in her head. But it's incredible. She smashed her finger, and it's very sore still, but it looks phenomenal. Like it's healing up so well. It's blowing me away. I mean, I don't know. I can't say that it's the energy work, but it's like, it should be like hamburger, and it's looking so amazing. She's like, I can't believe how good it looks for how, sore it is. But I keep just packing this in. So imagine that you're taking this botanical mask, and you're just plunking it in like grout going in between bricks, just slathering it on, just layering it in, just covering that area. I just feel like it took out all the heat from your back there. It was just really fiery, and I just felt like packing it with that frequency just to cool it all down, almost just like you're like lying in a nice cool spa bath of mud, just an absolute mud bath. That's much better. Oh, I'm so grateful for you guys being here this evening. That was a neat meditation. That one felt really cool. I didn't plan for the magnetic pull from the moon and Chiron there, but all of a sudden it was just kind of like being in a Marvel movie where it went like this. I had this sound in my head when they all connected and just started propelling these veils. It was kind of neat. So thank you for going on the journey with me. So I will let you guys go for the evening unless anybody wanted to hop on there. I'm gonna just let you guys mellow in the disbursement of the particles that our bodies became unified with the divine energy there. That was very fun. I feel like I'm in two worlds right now. So I'm gonna go pull some carrots out of my garden while I still have a little sunlight left, and I'm going to send the biggest love and hugs to everyone out there. And thank you for being with us tonight. And thank you for watching the replay. If you're watching the replay, feel free to reach out if you have absolutely any questions. And I look really forward to seeing most of you next week. Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
Jackie.
Oh, you're so welcome. Did you do
Thank
okay
you
there,
very
Karen?
much.
I did. It was
Oh,
great. I have a question. The frequency
yeah.
of frankincense. What is the frequency of frankincense? Or do you know
Frankincense is,
offhand?
it's interesting because I always thought that it would be like in and around 500 or something like that, but it rests in and around 280, I believe. I have to
Oh,
double check
that's
on
it.
it, but that's it. Yeah. That's why I was so surprised by black spruce because it's so high. I always thought rose was the one of the highest ones. And it's at like 333 hertz, but those wood oils, and once you get into extracting straight from the trees, that's where some of that power is. They're like way up there,
Yeah,
way up there.
abortifati would probably be. I've been
Yes,
getting, yeah.
yeah, it
Okay.
is very
I'm
high up
glad I
there.
jumped on. Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so glad too. So glad too. Yeah, I yeah, I was really excited to see you pop in there. It was beautiful to have you here tonight. Thank you. Did anyone
Thank you.
else
And
have?
thank everyone else.
Yeah, absolutely. Did anyone else have questions before I let you guys go tonight? You're all good? Mwah. Love you to pieces. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you next week. Take care. Have a great weekend. Good night.